Hello, this is John Lee with Dashboard Dudes, and today I'm going to teach you how to make something so simple, frittatas. Now, if you don't know what frittatas are, they are basically the Spanish omelet, but instead of being fried on a frying pan, they are baked. And why we're going to do this is because they're going to rise, and you could put whatever you want in them. For toppings, you could put anything you want. Any leftovers, it's such an easy thing to make. So what we're going to do is we're going to transform basic eggs into something so beautiful, so delicious, like frittatas. All right, let's go over the ingredients. What you're first going to need are obviously some eggs. What you really want is 1 to 2 eggs per serving that we're going to make. You're also going to need some cream. I like to use heavy whipping cream because it's full fat, but you can use soy milk, coconut milk, whatever you want. You can put any toppings you want, but for today, we are going to use the following: red bell pepper, a green bell pepper, kale, basil, goat cheese, salt and pepper to taste, and if you have it, white pepper instead. And we're going to need some nonstick spray. And if you have it, a balsamic glaze. You really just need a cupcake pan. You'll also need a little bowl for mixing. Obviously, you will need a cutting board, chef's knife, and a little whisk if you have one. Another really fun thing that I do with this is I'll make the base for friends or family, and then each of us will individually make our own frittata. That way, it's kind of fun, and you could see who messed up, which is not me, and who did really well, which is me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat my oven. We're going to heat it for 400 degrees. So the first thing we're going to use is our kale. You don't even have to really use a knife. You can just use your fingers and just tear it apart. And we need to make this smaller pieces. The next thing, we're going to take some basil. I'm going to show you a little trick that we can do here. We're going to roll this up. Roll it. Nice and tight. Then what I can do is I can take my knife, and if I do these small cuts, I'm making basil ribbons. Little ribbons that we can use for garnish later. All right, I'm going to show you 2 ways that we can cut bell peppers. The first way is we're going to take our chef's knives and we're going to cut around this part. We can then pull out the stem. We have all of our seeds. We're going to make a slit. We're going to cut this, roll it out, and now we can have a little bit of flat. I'm going to protect my fingers. I'm going to take the bell pepper. I'm going to cut it lengthwise. Cool. And I'm protecting my fingertips by curling it in using this cage curl method, whatnot. Turn them sideways, and we're just going to do a nice, easy, rough dice. All right, the second way is really cool too. We're just going to take the bell pepper and flip it upside down. You see these quadrants we have? We're going to take our knife and we're going to cut along the little meridians, the borders in our quadrants. And just going to go down. And by doing this, we can now pull apart the different piece of the bell pepper that we want. So I can pull this part. I can cut it if I want. I can do it again. Pull. Cut. I'm going to first cut off this end here because I need this surface to be as flat as possible so I don't have any danger of it moving. I'm going to turn it so that it's always lengthwise, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. Cut, 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 cut. Turn it, dice it. And voila, we are done with our prep work. We have our ingredients that we can add to our frittata. So I'm going to take my egg, I'm going to hit it on the counter, a flat counter surface. One hand, drop it in. And you want 1 per serving. I'm going to do 6. So I'm hitting the counter and pulling apart. Okay, so now for the cream. What we really want is 1 tablespoon of cream or milk per egg. 1, 2, so I'm going to add 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're done with this. All right, my favorite saying, high risk, high reward. Let's do it. So when I'm whisking, I'm making a circular motion like this. I'm trying to pull it up onto itself. All right, next thing, we're going to spray down our cupcake pan. I'm just going to rub this around. We're going to ladle in about halfway because remember, we're going to add more ingredients, which is going to also cause this to rise. Okay, so all we got to do now is dress it. We just got to make it look cool. I'm going to take some goat cheese and I'm just going to sprinkle it in first. I'm going to add some kale to mine. Some green peppers and some red peppers for some beautiful color. That's it. Can you believe how easy it is? We're done. I'm going to throw it into the oven for 20 minutes. Remember, 400 degrees for 20 minutes. And we're basically done. All right, timer went off. Let's go see. Oh, yeah. Those look beautiful. My love language is words of affirmation to the food that I make. Okay, so while it's hot, this is when I want to season it. I'm going to add some coarse salt. I am a huge fan of coarse salt. I think it just tastes better. Ground black pepper, just a bit. When it comes to eggs, I tend to prefer white pepper. It's just not as harsh as ground black pepper. I'm going to put a little bit of white pepper and we are good. All right, now let's move it to a wire rack. So I'm moving around it first just to see if it's loosened where it can spin by itself. And then I'm going to get under it and lift it up. Okay, they look great. They look great. They look great. They look great. But we're going to amp it up a little bit. We're going to add our balsamic glaze just like so. Just go for it. And I'm going to add that basil that we had made into ribbons. There you go. Hakuna Frittata. What a wonderful dish. Very, very, very easy. We just took some eggs, some milk. You can use non-cow milk if you want. Put in some goat cheese, some peppers, some basil, kale, glaze, salt, pepper, easy peasy. And you could take whatever leftovers you have. And I want to show you something. There's a reason why I didn't dress some of them up. Because you can make something so boring like a regular one that has nothing in it. And by doing just a little bit of extra work, a little bit, you can make something that looks much, 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 much better. All right, let's try one out. Oh, yeah. Mmm. That balsamic glaze plus the warm goat cheese at the same bite, man. And now I get the basil at the end of it. Mmm. No wonder my family in France enjoyed this one. Bonjour, ça va? So easy. Give it a shot. Let me know how it goes.